Filipino resilience is unquestionably tough. They now stand on different sides of the net, ready to exchange fire during a battle that analysts will examine in order to years to come. This special broadcast feature, we're not only discussing the game, we're breaking down the historical importance of this occasion and shattering down the tactical nightmare that Mladenovic is a young person's presenter, where we'll review the ONC court chemistry or possibly the friction in these recently established collaborations. We'll delve deeply into the past between these two, the common cultural heritage, and pose the final query in everyone's thoughts. Is the underdog able to? Together, they might defeat the Grand Slam ancestry of Mladenovic and Fernandez? Make sure you remain and get your popcorn adhered to your screen. The legacy. At last, rivalry is genuine, and it is everything. Descending amid the heat of the desert. Let's examine the specific reasons why this story has taken the world of tennis by storm. Let's talk about the shock factor. Why is the whole WTA shocked? Generally speaking, the casual fan base frequently disregards the early doubles draw. Most people just see it as extra practice, but keep in mind that this is a WTA 500-person gathering. It is esteemed, it is profitable, and the lineup of players is incredibly talented. When Alex, Eala, and other young performers sign up for doubles, it is typically a tactical, strategic action. Getting court is the aim. Get used to the surface over time, pace, and make those volleys more precise for the more significant singles climb. Regarding Leylah, however, Fernandez doubles is a valid weapon in her toolbox. She has advanced to the Roland Garros finals and genuinely flourishes in this disorganized format. The timing is what's so shocking about this. Of everything, Aya's statistical odds, and Fernandez, the two imposing individuals of tennis in the Philippines, colliding in the round of 32, are almost non-existent. It seems to be taken directly from a film. It seems as though someone manipulated the deck especially for the most dramatic effect. However, let's get past the hype and examine the enormous obstacle Eala faces. In particular, we must deal with the tremendous giant on the other side of the net. Cristina and Eala Fernandez's team. Mladenovic. We must talk about the really superior quality of this opposition. If this were a game with you might say to a random companion, all right, Alex has a chance to fight. Leylah concentrates mostly on her own, however she is not. Today, I'm playing with a random partner. She is collaborating with Kikim Mladenovic. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with let me clarify who she is. Sport is, when it comes to doubles tennis, a lady is unquestionably royal. We're referring to a rival who has won the French Open trophy several times. During her remarkable career, she is a titan in the game, with an doubles championship at the Australian Open and a prior dominance in the world rankings. Her comprehension of court geometry is nearly unparalleled, bringing those experiences and intangible attributes that just win games. She is fully aware of when to stand for poaching near the net and how to hit a perfect novice's hearts with fear. In pairs, IQ with Leylah Fernandez, the veteran, who is quick, nimble, and endowed with some of the tour's softest hands. She can withstand a half volley from the girl toes for a victory, and her spin on the left is an absolute nightmare to deal with. Where observing what might be the most. On the doubles court, this combination. Season. Kristina Mladenovic is with you. The unquestionable master strategist, teaming up with the brand of absolute fire that is Fernandez, Leylah. Examining the statistics. This squad has the potential to win a championship. Paper, expertly combining explosive force with subtle grace, all enhanced by that lethal lefty dynamic that coaches envision. Using the Mladenovic patrolling with experience. Leylah Fernandez and the right side. Supplying the left-hand heat. This is a developing tactical masterpiece and an enormous test for little Alexa. It feels less like a first-round matchup, rival and more like to a heavyweight championship match from the very beginning, showcasing the brave Southeast Asian underdogs competing side by side with well-known titans of the game. Let's turn our attention to the competitors for a moment. The collaboration between the Eala of the Philippines and Indonesia's Janice Tien is just amazing. Situation for Asian tennis enthusiasts. Indonesian Janice Tien is exceptional. Ability on her own and her choice. Being paired with Alexandra is not at all a draw at random. It is a deliberate action to bring the budding stars of the region together. These two peers stand in for the absolute best of the upcoming generation, as well as the entire tour is already cognizant of the devastating harm to Alexandра's substantial. A left-handed forehand can cause harm to opponents. Although IA is seen as an unrelenting grinder in a single competition, the doubles game is entirely different. Animal that viciously punishes even a moment of hesitation. You just cannot wait for this to have unforced errors. Format. Here, the rule is straightforward and vicious. Should you fail to shut down the internet aggressively, you will receive intercepted, blasted off, and poached the court by seasoned volunteers. The Eala and Fernandez's covert weapon is the capacity to play with pure, unadulterated fearlessness in the face of these heavy favorites. If you're looking down a Grand Slam victor and an American, you can swing freely as an open finalist, because there is a lot of pressure for the underdog to have a chance. This match must be ugly for the pair, disorganized and uneasy for the favorites, not allowing them to settle into a beat, making an effort to play customary courteous tennis against a legend such as Mladenovic is basically signing your own death sentence. Any loose balls will be devoured by the veteran unless I use her heavy top, the net. Spin to firmly pin Mladenovic in the rear corner. If Janice Chen is able to continue at the internet and obstruct Leylah Fernandez's abruptly, the door opens for the amazing story that tennis enthusiasts, everyone is eager to see it. Let's now discuss the past, the harsh truth, as well as the enormous elephant in the room that everyone is talking about in whispers. The eagerly awaited rematch. While social media and headlines are the hardcore stat, the screaming rematch. Geek people are baffled by this, appropriately inquiring as to whether these two have even not yet participated in a professional match. If you examine the 2026 official WTA records and earlier, you won't discover that singles blockbuster that defines a career. Not yet between them. We haven't had the ability to view a center court television showdown this powerful. In reality, rivalry originated in the shadows of the courts used for practice away from the cameras. It's a quiet conflict driven by Years of rumors about the junior circuit. 2. Stars that have been orbiting one another. Orbits of others for years without a collision. From perspiring profusely in the Miami's humidity to share the courts for concrete practice at the United States Open, they are familiar with one another's games from inside out. Thus, don't allow the photos with smiles can deceive you for a moment. These individual practice sessions are frequently much more intense and competitive compared to the tournament matches that we watch on television. Eala is aware precisely where Alex prefers to put her serve, and Alex is aware of the exact moment Eala is going to avoid her backhand. Beyond the baseline, this conflict is a stand-in for a split fan base for multiple seasons. According to one group, Eala is the best because of her major final look, as the opposing side disputes fervently believe Alexa is the real patriot and prospective Asian queen. Tennis. Even when there are two settings, this match completely destroys those old arguments and delivers all that simmering feeling, bubbling up to the top. Getting on the Abu Dhabi hard court, we are observing two different identities of Filipino brilliance collides in a spectacle for which we have been waiting for years. Now, get ready for the technical breakdown. Prepare yourself for a vicious lefty violence that will put the court's geometry. This dynamic is incredibly intriguing since two southpaws trading heavily is uncommon. Blows at this level of intensity. Lefties typically have a distinct benefit due to their inherent spin. Doesn't feel like the rest of the tour. However, when a lefty plays another lefty, the ball spins and the mystical edge disappears. Straight into the zone of comfort for hitting. The cross-court forehand of Eala, which is her bread and butter, typically feeds straight into the hazardous forehand. Leylah Fernandez's weapon, neutralizing the angle. Thus, we are predestined for some intense, high-octane music. Moments in the forehand that are certain to illuminate the stadium and attract the audience. Standing. Undoubtedly, Leylah Fernandez maintains the advantage in terms of raw foot speed, as she is possibly among the most effective and nimble players in the current sport. Alex is undoubtedly becoming more rapid with her movement, yet she remains powerful hitter at heart in contrast to the best. Eala's counterpunching technique has anticipate that Eala will intercept and aggressively rush